Hey there, I don't like Donald Trump, and is about to become clear I really don't like Mike Pompeo, but today's video is actually intended for Republicans and MAGA people who may be wondering just why it is that Donald Trump barely lost the 2020 US presidential election. There are a lot of reasons why he lost, of course. Many tiny things could have been just a little bit different to allow him to win. But one of the largest and most unrecognized reasons why Donald Trump lost is Mike Pompeo.
In my opinion, we've spent $4 trillion trying to topple various people that, frankly, if they were there and if we could have spent that $4 trillion in the United States to fix our roads, our bridges, and all of the other problems, our airports, and all of the other problems we have, we would have been a lot better off. I can tell you that right now. We have done a tremendous disservice, not only to the Middle East, we've done a tremendous disservice to humanity. The people that have been killed, the people that have been wiped away, and for what? It's not like we had victory.
I play that clip from the 2015 Republican debates a lot. This argument is one of the main reasons he won the Republican nomination. I believe it's probably the main reason that Donald Trump got elected. It's an idea whose time has come. There is no denying that US foreign policy over the past 20 years has been a colossal waste of time and money. This is obviously true if you are like me and believe there is no real reason for US military engagement abroad at the moment. But it's even more true if you believe, like most MAGA people do, that China is a great threat that must be confronted. Our engagement in Europe and the Middle East and our obsession with non-threats like Russia and Iran is the greatest gift we can possibly give to the Chinese Communist Party. Trump was 100% right to condemn the majority of our foreign policy. Nobody on cable news will tell you that. Not on Fox, not on CNN, but it's true. As much as I dislike Trump, I celebrated every time he attempted to withdraw our forces from the Middle East. But after 4 years of President Trump, we ended up more engaged in the Middle East, not less. The problem here wasn't actually Trump himself. He repeatedly ordered withdrawals that never happened. The problem was with the people Trump hired. Two of the three most important positions for US foreign policy are the Secretary of Defense and the National Security Advisor. The first people Trump hired in these positions were all generals. Generals believe that all military missions are good because they help their budgets grow. They also tend to go work for the arms industry when they retire, whether they do so directly or whether they go work for think tanks and universities that are heavily funded by weapons companies. After all the generals burned out, the next stage of these jobs got even worse. Trump's longest-serving national security advisor was John fucking Bolton, a guy who famously wants the US to fight wars in a half dozen more countries than it already is, from Latin America to Europe and Asia. After Jim Mattis, the Secretary of Defense position was basically given to the defense industry entirely. Patrick Shanahan, a guy who served as acting defense secretary for 6 months, had spent almost his entire professional life working for Boeing, one of the biggest weapons companies. Mark Esper, the next significant guy, had a more varied career, but his most important job was as a vice president for Raytheon, another big weapons manufacturer. None of these people had any interest in ending any wars. They are the deep state. Most of them are perfectly happy to go back to work with the hashtag resistance neocons of MSNBC if they haven't already. Beyond the failings of individual appointees, the dominant characteristic of the Trump-era foreign policy was chaos. Very few people lasted more than a year or even just a few months. Many of these figures crashed out of office, condemning Trump as they went, and a surprising number of them ended up writing nasty tell-all books. There are a whole bunch of other officials that I didn't even bother mentioning because they didn't last long enough to be remembered. But amidst all the chaos, there was a through line to Trump's foreign policy. That through line was Mike Pompeo. The third of the three most important foreign policy positions in any U.S. government is the Secretary of State. The relative power of these positions changes with every administration, though. It depends on how good a political operator the person is. It depends on how long you can last, and it depends on whether the president likes you or not. Mike Pompeo was part of a select class of politicians who made it all the way through the Trump administration, serving as CIA director before serving as Secretary of State from April 2018 all the way through January 2021. His loyalty was unimpeachable. While most other foreign policy officials were publicly feuding with Trump or even writing tell-all books, Pompeo constantly praised the president and claimed to be doing his work. Trump famously loves loyalty, and Pompeo was really good at performing loyalty. In so doing, he became the most important figure in the foreign policy of the entire Trump administration, all 4 years. And he did it by lying to Trump the entire time. Mike Pompeo wasn't about America first or focusing resources on China. He was just as much about keeping the defense industry gravy train running as Mark Esper and General Mattis were. Pompeo's underlings, like Ambassador Jim Jeffrey, have been open about lying to Trump to keep troops in Syria. Pompeo was good about sounding aggressive towards China, but he was aggressive towards everybody else on the planet as well. He worked hard to further sanction and isolate Russia. He tried to bring about regime change in Venezuela. A few months ago, his people did some leaks that made it clear that he was trying to start another trillion-dollar Middle East war with Iran from his first day in office at the CIA. Pompeo expects to be celebrated for this. Let's be clear about what happened here. Mike Pompeo, the most important figure in Trump's foreign policy and Trump's most loyal supporter, spent 4 years working to undermine Donald Trump's most universally popular policy position. Trump was supposed to be the guy who ended the wars and brought our troops home. Instead, through Mike Pompeo, we ended up committing more to every war we were fighting, and Pompeo kept trying to start new ones. It seems likely that in the first 8 months of the Biden administration, we'll see more troops come home than we saw in the entire 4-year Trump term. Democrats and their media like to pretend that Trump was soundly rejected by the US public. I would like that to be true, but it's not. Trump lost by a few hundreds of thousands of votes in a handful of states. If he had had real successes to point to in foreign policy, instead of a stepped-up Middle Eastern troop presence that was constantly being bombed by Iraqi militias, I think he would have won. He might even have won big. I think Donald Trump really believed that he was a guy who ended wars. One of the saddest episodes from his administration is the last couple months when he was running around desperately trying to hire people who would actually follow his orders to withdraw from the Middle East. He should have been doing that in early 2017, not the tail end of 2020. But he had his loyal guy, Mike Pompeo, who was constantly telling him that the withdrawals were about to happen. The withdrawals never happened. And now Joe Biden is president and actually doing some of those troop withdrawals. I think that Mike Pompeo is the main reason that Joe Biden is president. I guess I should be grateful to him. No Republican should. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and click on the link here to sign up for my email newsletter. There's a free PDF essay in it for you if you do. Thanks.